We're going to proceed to the Rawlings Trail to locate some previously assessed trees by Blackwell's tree risk assessor. We're going to take a look at the assessed trees, the ribbons for removal, and we're just going to select a square on both sides of the trail, and we'll just assess approximately 10 trees within that square area. So we got that area there, and then we can just work our way down. We can pick up 10 or 15 trees on both sides, and there's a trail over there and a trail here. So we got this bit, so you want to locate the corner of the area. Okay. And it would be, we locate this tree and that tree. Okay. So I got approximately 70 yards, 70 paces between the two cedar trees on the west side of the area. Okay, so we have the 2 points, the big cedar and this cedar.
Right.
And we're going to work towards the east, and we'll see how many trees. We're just going to keep assessing eastwards between the 2 points, all the ribbon trees within those points.
There goes some more green, green foliage, completely green foliage. Because we're not dead trees, they cut down.
Bicycle's locked. Okay, it sounds fairly stable. I detect a little bit of tone down here. It's a flat part of the trunk. I don't know. But it sounds solid to me. I don't think there's any decay in this tree. I don't hear any decay or any hollow or any deterioration within the tree. It sounds solid, stable. So that's decayed with a branch, which is a common area for decay to get in, where the branch connections are. Yeah. Well, I guess a chickadee could fit in there.
Yeah.
Now, I don't see any risk with this tree, but they have it tagged. So I guess we got to call it T2.
Will you be doing some hammering to check it?
No, I don't think so. We could just question, like, why would you assess a tree as dangerous when 4-inch diameter tree that's 15, 20 feet tall. The trees are all within 1.5 times height striking distance of trails. That's not disputed. That's not an issue. The issue is really the exposure. There's just low exposure. No exposure, no risk. Solid. That's solid. There's a rotten part of the root there. So we got a little bit of decay in here on the root. Otherwise, all the roots are solid. So this is really insignificant. This bit of decay. Actually, that doesn't sound too bad, but it's starting to decay a little bit. And solid, solid, solid. There's a seam running down here. That's solid. Got some decay in there. And there's a pocket in here. And a little pocket there. So, and we have actually a lot of beetle activity right here. We got all these bore holes in here. Are they going to leave? They're going to leave an 8 meter stump on this. So they're not cutting it to the ground. So we can't confirm what I've done here.
Right.
But I'm 90% confident that this is solid right through. the roots in the butt are stable, and I'm going to rate the tree safe. Unless we have some overhead hazards, which we don't, because the hemlock tree, standing dead, looper defoliated, it deteriorates vertically downwards. So as you see, the tree is in the process of deteriorating vertically downwards, and all the branches are sitting here at the base of the tree because that's the way it goes.
Just like the WHT provincial manual states will
Just
happen.
like the WHT provincial manual states.
Right.
The one that's accepted by the British Columbia Supreme Court. System. Okay, so we got 20-inch D here.
Tagged remove.
Here. T2 right here, abutting the trail. Okay. Bend to it down here, isn't it? And it's kind of odd that a Douglas fir would be completely defoliated.
Yeah.
So
Because
that tells me, I suspect that it's been weakened maybe by rot. It's stressed, and so if it's a stressed tree, it's vulnerable, more vulnerable to attack
by the looper.
by the looper. And it's got a weird form here. Well, the tones are different.
Yeah.
It could be the bark. It's a thick bark tree.
Yeah.
So difficult to sound. Bit of frass in here with the holes. So something's boring in there. Bark's dead. Dead rotting bark. So I think it's a little bit hollow decayed. A little bit of decay, but not enough to destabilize the tree.
Huh.
So
So it's more like superficial on the bark, you think?
yeah, minor, but
Yeah.
but it's solid on the outside. So the sapwood's good, the heartwood's rotted. So when they cut this one down, I think we're going to see a little bit of a hollow in the center of the heartwood with some heartwood rot, but it's not significant in the sense that it's going to cause the tree to be unstable. The trees are stable, but they, some of them, including this one, I suspect of having heartwood rot. Now they're going to cut the tree down. We're going to come back and we're going to see how the assessment I've just performed turns out. I'm suggesting, and we'll measure the good wood versus the decayed wood, and I'm telling you that we've got enough solid wood in here to stabilize the tree. So it's not an unstable tree, it's not a dangerous tree, but it does have some decay in the center of the tree. Safe. Overhead hazards, the limbs are breaking, some of them are going to land on here, but it's going to be during a windstorm, and the limbs are not big enough to be considered hazardous, potentially hazardous. So we looking at these trees that have been assessed, it looks to me as a bogus assessment because they've all been assessed as dangerous, whereas I've assessed them all as safe. So we have quite a discrepancy here in the assessments. I think we'd have to pull the Blackwell risk assessor out here, and along with me and maybe some independent assessors, we'd have to reassess the tree and discover the true facts I can't see how every tree is assessed as dangerous, and I'm assessing them all as safe. So obviously we've got a huge discrepancy here. So this may be legitimate. It's a legitimate concern because I've instantly spotted fruiting bodies from the trail. My overview walk, I'm going to go in for an inspection. The branches, this is deteriorating. It's a hemlock. The branches are all coming down at the base of the tree, vertical deterioration. I'm assuming it's dead. I'm going to look up and see it's dead. I think it's dead. It looks like it's dead, or it's very, very close to dead. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we got big. Oh, this is a big tree we got here. You see those fruiting bodies? You can see the big anchor root just crushed, severed. And it appears to be the falling cedar fell, crushed the anchor root. So the tree's obviously lost some stability. So it's got the west side of the tree, the anchor root severed, crushed, rotted. It's gone, and that's a big anchor root. So let's see how this sounds. Ooh, yeah. How does that sound?
Oh.
Like a drum?
Yeah.
Okay, so we definitely got a hollow root there. Now this looks good, sounds good, looks good. I think it sounds good. Looks good. Sounds good. Okay, so the tree is sounding good on the south side, but as soon as we get around the trunk, above the butt, above this damaged, severed, rotted root, I'm running into a decay column that's inside the tree running up the west side associated with this damaged root. Okay, you're going to rate it safe and monitor quarterly, every 3 months. So we want to hang on to the tree, but want to take a quick look. And although there's a lot of significant deterioration indicators, you saw the really big anchor root completely severed, rotted on that side, and then on the other side we got fungus. We got brackets, fruiting bodies, so there's definitely a lot of decay in this butt, but I'm not going to panic. I still got it safe because I've got enough solid wood around the trunk and in the existing roots that are not severed that I'm okay with keeping the tree, but we're going to have to monitor it. That truck or that machine just driving down here, you feel it shake the ground?
Yeah.
That vibration is enough to cause a limb to come down.
Wow.
Or even a tree to come down, hit his machine. Wow. So here we go with sounding. Tell me what you hear. Here we got a big anchor root here. There's a deterioration, internal rot right there. So as usual, the center of the tree in the butt is all rotted out, and that's just normal.
Yeah.
Now, what we're concerned about are these big anchor roots, and you can see that we got fiber tear in the big anchor roots because this tree is experiencing pull, cannot support itself because it's rotted on the buttress side. So but that's still nice and solid. Nice and solid. Here's another anchor root, smaller anchor roots going straight down, so sort of like two here. You're not going to get much out of that, but listen.
Oh, this one's solid and that one's hollow.
Yeah.
I could hear the difference.
Okay, so we got these two here. This, yeah, that was. So this is solid holding. This is rotted out. No good.
Right.
This one looks good. Visually, I can tell before I even hit them. I can tell.
Yeah,
you can
looks
see
different
that.
than that.
This looks healthy, right?
Yeah.
Healthy bark. You never really know. That sounds good. Now we come around to here. This is healthy live tissue. Right here, it's dead. And we got a fiber tear coming up there, a seam all the way down here. And it looks like we've got some recent fiber tear. It's opened up by about 1/4 inch because I can see some new wood in there. So this looks solid, this looks decayed. We'll give it a tap. Good. But so far it's all vertical fiber that's tearing, it's ripping. And so this is definitely a monitor tree. It's living, it's still alive, and it's really high value. And just because of the exposure, Stanley Park, the risk assessor, he says it's a dangerous tree. I say it's a safe monitor tree. So the wind is going to bring this one over. So it's coming over, but it's going to come over in a windstorm, and the park will be closed. It'll be a big windstorm that brings this one over. Okay. Oh, that's a beauty. So we got some big limbs. So we've got some overhead risk, some overhead hazards here. Tree's dead. The limbs have been breaking. They're decaying. They're rotting. I can see a rotten limb, substantial in size, over the trail. So we do have some overhead risk here. Hemlock. And this is 4 foot. Oh, good. Oh, that sounds a little bit hollow, but it's a small one. Oh yeah, that's good. That's all good. There's some bore holes, but not a lot, just a little bit. It's all solid. So it's good.
Is that hollow?
No.
Yeah,
It
I
sounds-
think maybe a
is
little
it?
bit.
A little bit. The first tap sounded hollow, but the next one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's solid as can be.
That's solid. So
I
the
hear
other
the
one's got
difference.
a little bit of a hollow sound.
Yeah, a little
so we
bit.
got a little bit of decay,
Yeah.
maybe 50%. Now that root is still providing support because it's not 100% decayed. We got a little bit of a hollow tone in it,
Right.
and as long as it's less than 50% decayed, then we've got a good root. I've rated it as dangerous because of the overhead risks, but I've recommended removing the overhead limbs, the dead limbs that are hazardous, that are going to fall on the trail, and keeping the tree. So that's how you're going to reduce the danger rating to a safe rating, is by simply removing these dead limbs over the trail. I don't see any rooting bodies on this one. They're going to reduce this to 4 meters.
Hollow?
That's hollow. Here's solid.
Yeah.
So it's got a lot of hollow on this side of the tree, and it's got, I would say, significant, substantial heart rot. But the rest of the tree is solid. The bark's all off, but it's still sound. So it's just that one small part of the tree. Less than 10% of the circumference of the tree is deteriorated, decayed, and the heartwood's decayed. So the tree is still sound, the roots are good. So we've got some defects, but they're not hazardous defects. Oh, look at the fruiting bodies on this. So we got a lot of heart rot on this tree, all the way up and down the trunk. But the fall direction is away from the trail, so we got no exposure on it. If that was leaning over the trail, I'd be rating as dangerous, remove.
Right.
Yeah, that would just get rid of it.
But it's not, so it's not a risk.
Yeah, it's all about the fall direction in this case.
Right.
And the exposure.
Right.
Okay, so look at that root goes away out. Big stabilizer root. This whole thing is just one big broom. Wow. One giant broom that's come off. That's why the brooms are a defect. Now, if the brooms are dead, they're more of a defect. And if they're cracked or there's some evidence, any kind of evidence of decay, that's a hazardous defect. Because if one of these big brooms comes down and hits you in the head, that can cause a serious injury. So they're both safe. No overhead hazards here. And both going to be removed, and they're pretty sound. There's no evidence of or indicators of decay, rot, hollowness in either of these trees. When they cut them down, I would expect to find some rot, decay, hollowness right in the center of the trees.
Yeah, we've seen that.
But when we're sounding, we're not going to pick that up because it's so small, it's insignificant.
And it's deep inside the tree.
Yeah. It doesn't affect the rot inside the tree, in the center of the tree in the heartwood. Does not affect the structural stability of the tree. As long as there's enough sound wood remaining in the stem to provide the structural support. So they call it the shell of the tree. So as long as the shell is sound, you've got a good shell, you've got a stable tree. We've assessed 13 trees, all of which were previously assessed by the Blackwell group and their so-called tree risk assessor. And we don't know who that tree risk assessor is, but we'd really like to have him come out here with some other independent tree risk assessors and myself, and maybe Blackwell as well, just to help explain why these trees have been rated dangerous, and in particular trees that are standing dead, hemlock trees, but with a clear lean away from the trails and the road. They're just going to fall harmlessly into the forest. Why have you rated those trees as dangerous? That doesn't make any sense. Now, I've assessed all these trees, and I think by my assessments, all 12 of these 13 trees I've rated as safe, as opposed to Blackwell's tree risk assessor, who has rated them all dangerous. I rate them all safe. There's only one tree I've rated dangerous, tree number 9, and so I would agree with the risk assessor on that tree. It's dangerous. However, if you simply prune a few of the dead, overhanging limbs, large limbs, which will likely fall in the trail, I would drop my rating from dangerous to safe because it's no longer a risk. Here we are back at the study area. We previously assessed 13 trees. The Blackwell people, the loggers, have come in here and cut down the trees. They're mostly hemlocks. We got 2 cedars and 1 Douglas fir. The rest of the 13 are hemlock trees. And we're on the Rawlings Trail studying area. And this is tree number 1 that we're going to reassess to see how rotten, how decayed the tree actually is. We're going to examine the soundness of the wood now that we see it's been freshly cut and we can see what's inside the tree. The wood is all sound. There is no disease in the tree. The coloration is good. It's firm, hard wood, and there's no rot in this tree. So this tree was standing dead as a wildlife value tree for local birds and animals and mammals, and it's been cut down, rated by the Blackwell Assessor as dangerous and cut down when in fact it was safe and should have been left as a valuable wildlife tree. What we have here is a little 4-inch diameter hemlock tree. For some reason they're also targeting little dead standing 4-inch diameter hemlock trees. They're not all being removed, but as you can see, there's one standing just over there, 10 yards to the east, and we have some more in the distance. So now it's the same thing with this tree. You can see the wood. It's all solid. There's no disease in these trees, in any of these stumps, because of the cause of death. The cause of death was looper defoliation. It was not root disease or root rot or decay rot. The cause of death was looper defoliation. The tops of the trees, the foliage was eaten by the moth, and that was the cause of death. So the rest of the tree is standing sound and safe. So that's an important distinction. If these trees, if cause of death was root rot, then the wood would be rotted. The trees are standing safe and sound as wildlife trees for birds, particularly the pileated woodpecker. And this one is a large coastal hemlock, 150 feet tall or more, about a 5-foot diameter trunk. I assessed this previously as sound all around. They had it rated as dangerous, and I had it rated as safe. It was another case of a hemlock tree. Cause of death was defoliation by the looper moth was probable cause of death. It was not a root rot disease that caused the death of this tree. It was the looper moth. And that's important because if a looper moth defoliation kills a tree, the tree stands sound. They topped this tree, so they brought it from 150 feet down to approximately 30 feet and left a pole. Here's a sample of the trunk where they cut it 30 feet up. You can see it's about 32 inches across. The torn fiber here is their hinge cut, the falling cut. That's their hinge to control the fall. So they just felled the whole thing from the top right across. But you can see for yourself that there's no rot on this tree. There's no decay in the tree. No need to remove the tree. It's just a valuable wildlife tree, particularly because of the size of this hemlock, 150 feet and 4 to 5 feet across in diameter. That makes it a very valuable tree in the park, and you don't want to lose these trees. It was about 130 feet tall, a 20-inch diameter Douglas fir, and it was ribboned for removal, and we tested this and it was sound, and I'm not sure what the cause of death was, looper moth or a root disease, but it tested sound, so I wasn't concerned about it, so I rated it safe. Meanwhile, for some reason, they missed this tree, and they failed to remove the tree that had been assessed by them as dangerous. Although I have assessed it as safe, it hasn't been cut down, so we don't have any way of confirming that the wood is completely solid throughout the tree unless I have to come back another day and do a more detailed assessment, which we may do with an increment bore on this tree, just to confirm the tree is actually safe and not dangerous. I've measured the diameter by taking two cross sections, taking the average of the diameter of the trunk. Now I'm going to measure the diameter of the heart rot, the core, and I'm going to look closely, and here we go. It's hollow here, but it's also rotted here. The rot extends all the way here. This is the farthest extent of the rot. is actually right here. So we got 9.5 inches. I'm going to say 10 inches average to be conservative. Radius of rotten wood here is 5 inches. So 10 inches diameter of the heartwood core rot gives us a radius of 5 inches. The required amount of soundwood is 8.4 inches. So that 8.4 inches exceeds the 5 inches that's rotted. So we've got the point comes where the center has rotted out to an extent that the amount of sound wood in the cross section is less than 30% in diameter or radius.
Can you estimate how long that might take on a tree like this if it had been left standing?
Yeah, given the fact that it was defoliated, it's dead, and it's rotting out, I would guess this would remain solid until about year 6, year 7, by which time the tree would be at about a class 8, about a third of the height. So at this point, the stump would be so badly rotted that it would probably just fall somewhere around the end of the classification system here, the end of the life of the tree, the end of the life of the wildlife tree. So we have a wildlife life, and then we have an actual tree life. So the trees died here in class 3, the tree is dead, but it still has a wildlife duration, a wildlife cycle. So we're into the wildlife cycle. So the natural life cycle is over, but that's when the wildlife cycle begins. So the tree's not finished until it's on the ground as a log, class 9, and it's still not finished because it's serving the birds and mammals on the forest floor. So just looking at the original assessment of tree number 5, the hemlock, I have here in the notes, upon sounding, I rated the tree as safe upon sounding, and sure enough it is safe. And I also noted that minor butt decay was noticed on the sounding, and as you can see, the sounding went really well because it did reveal minor butt rot decay. Exactly what we suspected. So that was a very good show of the effectiveness of sounding the trunks. It looks like I sounded this. I rated it as safe, but I noticed decay in this one as well. The tag says remove to ground. Norm says no, but says there is decay. So again, with the sounding, we've got decay, but rated safe. Many of these trunks are not exactly perfectly circular, so they're oval, and so with the two measurements, I'll take the average and we'll get a good diameter out of that. So we want to be accurate, and I'm going to be conservative in my measurements. I got 4.2 inches of radius. Sound wood is required thickness for this to be safe. Okay, now our actual stem thickness. See, it's a little bit spongy in here, and it's solid here, a little bit spongy there. So I'm going to give it a little bit extra here to account. So we got 8 inches here is the diameter of the heart rot, and 8 inches here is the diameter of the heart rot. So if it was a perfect circle, we've got roughly an 8-inch diameter heart rot in the center of the stump. For the formula, we're going to take 4-inch diameter. The reason we're doing that is because when we test these trees, they're not cut. It's a whole tree standing. We put an increment bore here and we go to the center of the tree. So that's why we're dealing with radiuses here. So we're just going to convert to radiuses as if we're using an increment bore. 12 inches minus 4 gives us 8 inches of actual stem thickness, whereas the requirement is 4.2 inches. So this is very safe. We're on the safe side by quite a bit. With this sounding method, the mallet, we detected the tone indicating there was a bit of decay in the tree, but not enough to consider the tree dangerous. Now we've assessed it and we've confirmed our initial assessment of the tree that in fact it is safe with a minor amount of decay. So what we have here, significant rot, and there's all the root damage. It's just split the root right in there. And then on this side of the tree, I think we had some conks. This is a big 5-foot diameter hemlock tree. I rated the tree safe, and upon sounding assessment, detected possibly significant decay within the tree, heart rot. We also noticed a lot of damage on one of the anchor roots from a fallen cedar from years ago, and we noticed some fungal conks on the east side of the root flare. Based on the sounding and the conks and the damage to the roots, there may be significant root rot or significant heart rot in this tree. And sure enough, we've discovered after it's been cut down, and we can see that in fact there is significant heart rot in this hemlock tree, but not enough to rate the tree as dangerous. We've got a good assessment here on the sounding. It's rated the tree correctly, and at the same time it's detected some rot within the tree, which is important going forward because we would be considering monitoring the tree, knowing that we've detected heart rot within the tree, which is obviously going to spread over the years. So I don't want to capture the bark, I just want to capture the solid wood. So I'm not going to include an inch of bark on this. You have 46 inches diameter. See, I'm going a little faster now because I've been through this. This is a nice circular rot. Okay, you can see this white. See this white laminate? The white laminate there. And it's all soft, right? Nice and soft. That's rotted wood. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it's like a marshmallow. Yeah. It's so soft. Okay, so how far? Oh, there. Oh, right into there. Okay, so there's hardwood heart there, and that's. Oh, there's a pocket there. I'm going to be really conservative on this one. It's got a little bit of solid wood here, but I'm going to go right up to the pocket rot. You see this little pocket here? Mm-hmm. That's a pocket rot fungus. So we got a pocket there. There's a pocket there. So look at it. The guy's hinge. His hinge is all rotted out. Mm-hmm. But lucky guy, he had a little bit of solid hinge here. Otherwise he might have had a situation out of control. So it's 20 by 16. Instead of 18 inches, I'm going to say 20 to be conservative on this. So we've got an actual stem thickness of 13 inches, which is greater than the required stem thickness of 6.9 inches in this case. And so we have an extra 88% of solid wood on this tree. So it was rated safe. We noticed significant decay, and our sounding assessment, right again, is dead on. Despite the significant root damage and the root rot, I think the tree is good to stand stable. This is a large western red cedar we have here with a 6-foot diameter trunk. It's an old growth cedar with a heavy lean to it, leaning over the trail. On the east side of the tree we've got fiber tear. So we have some fiber tear here on the tension side of the tree. So that's concerning. The tree is on its way. There's some cracks, a little bit of root deterioration down here on this root. And this some of this tear is fairly recent. So what we should be doing is just marking the tear here, keeping an eye on this tree. This might be a monitor tree, maybe a quarterly monitor. We're working on a pretty good anchor root here. It's in good condition. It's living, and it's anchoring sort of adjacent to the fall direction. As we come down here, we've got some more good wood, anchoring the tree. And this is more opposite the fall direction. You can see in here, it's got substantial heart rot. So the center of the tree is all rotted out, but the anchor roots are keeping this tree standing. Here's an anchor root here. We've got some deterioration, some damage, deterioration, some splitting, but it's alive and it's still providing some anchorage. We got anchorage here, we got anchorage here, but we do have a lot of tension and some of the sapwood, the fibers tearing, and this tree is slowly wanting to fall over. I suspect this damage, the deterioration of the wood, is because the windstorms. It's high up, it's alive, it's catching wind, and it's moving a little bit, and the wood is giving away. So the tree's definitely on the way, but it's not about to fall over anytime soon. Unless we got a really big windstorm, it might take it over, but in that case, the park will be closed, we'll have no exposure, no people in the park, so we're okay. This is all decayed, all the way around to here. So we've got at least 50% of the circumference of the butt is decayed. So we want to keep that in mind. As a general rule, if you're at 50%, most trees would go. But because this is a western red cedar, it's much stronger in the fiber and the resistance to gravity and wind than any other tree, of any other comparable tree in BC. So we're giving it a little bit of extra consideration in this case. I'm going to rate it safe, and we're going to have it as a monitor tree. Keep an eye on it quarterly. We may have to do something to reduce the risk of this tree. I want to save it because it's excellent habitat for bats and birds, woodpeckers. What we could do is, if we want to mitigate the risk, we're just going to install a steel cable 2/3 the way up this tree, or 3/4 the way up the tree, and we're going to take this cable and we're going to take it right to the ground and install a ground anchor with maybe a 3/8 or 1/2 inch diameter steel cable, or we may anchor it to another adjacent tree or two if we can find some support trees strong enough to act as an anchor for this tree. Now, when we put the anchor in the tree, the steel cable, it's going to add supplemental support to the tree, preventing the tree from falling down across the trail. But at the same time, if we do get a windstorm and it gets to the point where there just isn't enough support in the tree, when it does fall, we're going to guide the fall direction adjacent the trail and not across the trail. So this thing is going to fall safely with the guy cable in it. And the tree's still alive, so we can hang on to this tree for a long time if it's properly guided into the forest. This tree's got no sign or indicator of heart rot. However, I rated it dangerous, mitigated to safe, if they simply removed one large dead limb that was overhanging the trail with a broom in it, dwarf mistletoe broom. If they just done that, the rest of the tree would stand safe. However, they decided to cut the tree down, the entire tree. It stood at 140 feet and with about a 4-foot diameter trunk, as you can see. The trunk's solid. The roots all look good. No sign of decay. A little bit of minor deterioration here, old injury. There's another injury, but if you look at the wood here, that's all solid. You can see the wood is all solid. There's evidence of a disease coming into the tree here. A little bit pocket rot disease right coming in here, minor, from tree center, just about the size of my hand on this face. All the trees in the forest, all these trees eventually rot out. So that's
Sort
just
of like people get old, and
it's just part of the normal cycle of the trees. They grow, they reach a point, they die, and they start to decay. And they become a valuable wildlife tree at that point. You don't cut them down, you keep them, because those are your valuable wildlife trees. Tree number 10, a large hemlock tree. These last four, they're all hemlocks. we're pretty close. It was standing dead close to the trail. All 4 were rated dangerous rated for removal. And as you can see, this tree is it's all solid. So we sounded the tree. It's safe. And now that it's been cut down, we can see the wood is all solid right across here on all sides, except for we have a pocket of decay here about the size of my hand, so maybe going 8 inches, say 9 inches by 9 inches. We got a decay pocket there. Otherwise, we got a sound trunk here, so it was standing safe. Tree number 11 here was a different story. It was in a little bit rougher shape. It was decaying a little bit on the outside of the sapwood. We had a little bit of decay, but nothing in the heartwood. I rated it as safe. There's no reason you would ever rate this thing as dangerous simply because it's going to fall harmlessly into the forest with the lean into the forest. I think it had about a 5-degree lean into the forest. Here we go on the back side. There we go. That's all sound wood. That's all sound wood. So this tree is all perfectly sound. There's no disease, no decay in this. This is all sound. On the little bit of rot on the sapwood on this side, so it might have had a bit of a canker down here, but that's very, very minor. I wouldn't pay attention to that. There's your roots, the anchor roots. The barks come off here, been peeled off by the falling tree, and see how nice those anchor roots are. Nice and sound. There's no sign of rot in the roots, no disease in the tree or the butt. It's all good. Well, we've concluded the assessment, and we've found that upon review of all the fallen and top trees, we've confirmed our original assessment of the standing trees to be all safe and not dangerous. One of the trees, a fir, was missed by the loggers. It's a Douglas fir. I've got a feeling that because they were targeting hemlocks, they inadvertently missed the fir, which had been ribboned for removal. And apart from that, the sounding was, I would say, 99% accurate. It picked up all the sound trees. I think there was 3 or 4 trees that were slightly decayed with some heartwood rot in the center, and the sounding picked up that slight decay. We noted it, and sure enough, it was slightly decayed. So I'm more than satisfied with this assessment. I think we got a really, really good results out of this, and I'm really satisfied with the way things went with the sounding and the decay measurements. It's just about exactly as we had expected. I'd expect the rest of the logging would be the same. I won't even say similar. It would be the same. Your results are going to be the same from this sample area. This would extend throughout the park. You're going to find that more than 99% of these trees are standing safe and sound, and they've been rated dangerous and they've been removed, but they're actually safe, sound, standing dead hemlock trees, or living hemlock trees in some cases, and excellent wildlife value with another 7-8 years of wildlife value left in the trees, which is critical to the forest. So they've created a lot of damage because they've lost a lot of value in these wildlife trees, and particularly the food source for the pileated woodpecker, which serves all the other birds and animals in the forest. So that's the way I've assessed it. Is the trees are all safe, and you've got a substantial loss of wildlife tree value in this forest as a result of this tree removal logging operation that's going on.